This is Nina Griffin of griffinastrology.com, and I have been asked to answer some questions using astrology via the Nehron forum. Now, the method of astrology that I will use is known in the West as horary astrology, which means in Greek, astrology of the hour. The reason it is called that is because one person can ask a question of the astrologer, and the astrologer casts a horoscope for the moment that they understood that question. The horoscope will then contain the information that the person seeks. The question can really be anything. It can be asking, for example, where did I lose my ring? It can be, when will I ever get married, if ever? How many children will I have? So big life questions. One could even ask, when will I die and how? And one can ask questions about the greater world. For example, will there be a war in my country this year? So really the sky is the limit as far as the topic of the questions is concerned. And there's really only one particular rule. And the rule is that the person asking the question must really want to know the answer to that question. And the best time to ask the question is when you absolutely must know. You can't sleep, you can't eat, you absolutely must know the answer. When you have received such a clear question in your mind, you will find that the horoscope answering the question will be equally clear. If your question is very vague or you're not sure what it is you're really asking, the horoscope will reflect that, and it will be very vague and very difficult to read. So I always tell my clients, remember, only ask me your question once you have thought about it for a day and a night. Really spend some time thinking about it. If you are religious, pray about it. Spend some time really exploring the question and truly search your own soul to understand what it is you are really asking. Sometimes I find that people might ask questions that they really don't want the answers to. For example, someone might ask, will I be happy in my new house? However, what they're really asking is, will I get married soon? However, it takes a certain amount of self-examination, honesty, in order to ask the question that one really wants to know. So I always tell people, only ask the question that you are really ready to hear. Also, sometimes people don't really want to know the answer. They might ask, will I ever get married? But the question is, are you really ready to hear in case the answer is no? Do you really want to know that? So it takes a lot of honesty with oneself, and it's not as simple as it would seem. But we have received 6 questions, and I will answer those questions based on this method of horary astrology. Interestingly, since this is particularly for a Middle Eastern audience, you might be interested to know that horary astrology was used very, very heavily by the old Arab astrologers, particularly the ones who flourished between the years 800 to 1100 of the Common Era, particularly ones who were Persian, what is in modern-day Iraq, and so on. So the first question that I have received is from a woman called Nada, and she wants to know if her son will pass his examination. Now, the horoscope that I have cast, and this is the horoscope that will apply for all of the questions because I received all of the questions at the same time. If you are an astrologer or if you want to follow along and want to create your own chart so you can see what I am looking at, the data for the horoscope is June 20th, 2009, 1:36 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, so that's +7 from Greenwich Mean Time. And the location is San Francisco, California. Now, this woman wants to know about her son's prospects for her examination. The horoscope shows him to be represented by the planet Saturn. Saturn is a very serious planet. It is the slowest moving of the 7 visible planets. And in this case, it is placed in the sign Virgo. Now, Virgo is a very analytical sign. It is the sign that you might think of when you think of accountants, lawyers. In other words, people whose job is to classify and work with information.